Two cool bros tooting each other's horns. We the best!
This is the beginning of a series where we are going to rank every single mascot in the NBA. Now, the way that we are going to do this is we are going to rank the mascots 1 through 5 in each of the 6 NBA divisions. And then the winners will move on to a final round where we rank the final 6 division leaders into the top mascots, the top 3 mascots in the NBA. And we will also rank the worst mascot in the NBA eventually. Methodology. How are we ranking them, right? We decided that each mascot will be broken up into 3 different categories. Their overall design, their history / origin story, and their potential basketball skills. Now, the way that we're going to rank them is in the division, first place gets 5 points in that category, second place gets 3 points in that category, third place gets 1 point, and if you're lower than that, you don't get shit. Fuck off. So then we'll take the total points. Total points will be the winner for each of us. We're going to talk about our winners and then kind of average it out and see who won the division based on both of our rankings.
Let's settle this.
Today, we are ranking the NBA mascots in the Pacific Division. First up, we have the Golden State Warriors, who do not have a current mascot. But in my research, I found that they had one guy who, I don't think ever actually made an appearance in a game, but he was named Berserker in 1996. I don't know what the fuck this thing is. There's, very limited pictures.
Very bizarre.
It looks like it has a football head, which makes no sense because we're in basketball. It has, laces on its face, sunglasses.
Instead of a mouth. Yeah.
The shoulders, it has hairy shoulders, but not hairy forearms. There's uneven amounts of fur. I honestly have no fucking clue what this thing is, and I don't think it saw the light of day. But anyways, so the next season...
Probably for good reason.
Yeah. The next season they came out with Thunder, who was a guy in a muscle suit, and he was their mascot for 10 years, 1997 2007. And he has a really long extended head behind him too. He looks like the old Golden State Warriors logo. He's basically based off of that. And yeah, I don't know. It was morph suit before morph suits were a thing. He seems solid, right, but he's not in the league currently. I think they had, at least from what I saw, it looked like they had some naming rights issues because right around 2007 is when the Sonics knew that they were going to leave, and then they were going to be the Oklahoma City Thunder because his name was Thunder. Yeah. I think there were some issues there, and that's why he got kind of shut down, and then they just never got another mascot. So,
and he kind of left, and then wasn't the We Believe? Wasn't that 08?
I think so.
So
it was right around that time.
He was kind of a curse, maybe, so it's for the best.
I guess, maybe.
He was holding them back, for sure.
Next up, we got the Los Angeles Clippers, who have Chuck the Condor. When they rebranded, they debuted him as well. February 29th, 2016. He is listed as having a 10-foot wingspan. So, yeah, very kid-friendly mascot as well. And he actually wears Chucks. He wears Chuck Taylors, which I thought was kind of cool.
That is fun. But in the pictures, his wingspan does not look 10 feet, but I guess we'll just believe them.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the same as where Benny the Bull is listed at 375 pounds, but it's dude, that guy's not 375 pounds.
Right, come on.
The Lakers, the Los Angeles Lakers, do not have a current mascot. I couldn't find any old mascots for them either, so I said, well, shit, who's the NBA mascot? Jerry West is the logo, so maybe Jerry West could be their mascot. He debuted as the logo in 1969. He's 6'3", his playing weight, anyway, was 175. Downside, though, for a current mascot competition, he's 83 years old. I don't think he could do it right now.
Past his prime, yeah.
Legend.
At best, he could give you a few minutes at a time, but 40 minutes a night? No, not at this point.
Next up, we have the Phoenix Suns with the Gorilla. The Gorilla originated in 1980, and his origin story is literally comic book, Marvel movie, whatever you want to say. There was a dude who went to a Suns game, and he was just supposed to deliver a singing telegram or something. For some reason, he was in a gorilla suit, just in the stands. and they didn't have any like halftime entertainment. And they asked this guy in the gorilla suit, they're like, hey, do you want to just like dance on the court and like be funny? And he was like, fuck it, sure. And he just went on the court, wasn't paid by the team yet, and danced around. People obviously just fucking loved it, ate that shit up. And then this guy they offered him to come back. He came back a few times and then eventually became their official mascot, based off just coming to a fucking game. And when that first guy switched over, because there was a new guy that came in '87, they wanted to continue the gorilla, so they hired this new guy, and they hired it based off of who can be athletic. Like our front office guy, whoever was in charge of our marketing, literally sought out ASU gymnasts to be our mascot. And they did a countrywide search. They actually brought in some people from like different states to try out to be their mascot for the gorilla, because they planned on doing trampoline dunks. The Phoenix Suns gorilla is the first mascot to do a trampoline dunk, and that happened in 1988, before a lot of these mascots even existed. So talk about pioneer, talk about crazy origin story, the gorilla.
That's a classic one.
A classic. Then we have, from Sacramento for the Kings, Slamson the Lion. So Slamson debuted March 8th, 1996. And there's two things I want to talk about that I found out about Slamson. So number one, a lot of them gave like, a lot of these only gave links on their websites. So like, how do you book them for an event or something? Some of them gave some fun facts or whatever. But none of them like broke it down like this, where I just thought no other team broke this down. They said Slamson has received the NBA's Most Valuable Cat Award 12 times, and he generates more than 12 million smiles per year and averages 338 hugs per appearance, sometimes delivering more than one hug to the same person. And I was just like, okay. It's like
that's something.
weird ass stats, bro. But then listen to their backstory. So again, I don't know how true this is, but at least it's up, and it still is up on the Wikipedia for Slamson the Lion. Listen to this.
Man, that's good enough. Wikipedia. That's fine.
Right? Slamson the Lion is the official mascot of the NBA franchise, the Sacramento Kings. His name is a play on the name Samson in reference to the biblical hero, which, by the way, if I may say this, Samson in the Bible killed a lion with his bare hands. So why would they name a lion after Slamson? Like the connection there seems to be some missing connections here, right? Which okay,
right, it's kind of dark. Yeah,
very dark. And then listen to this. He lives in the Golden One Center behind the bleachers in Sacramento, California. He was born on March 8th, 1996 in South Africa with his mother Slamette and his father Sir Slam the Lion. Unnecessary. But then listen to this. Due to his family being very poor, the Sacramento Kings went to help him after losing their other dear beloved mascot, Gorilla. He was then shipped off to Sacramento to entertain children. So in their history, Slamson was forcibly removed from his family to entertain children.
He's basically sold into slavery,
yeah.
where he now lives behind the bleachers.
And then the obligatory, he has since been loved by many children and teenagers for many years. Not adults, though. None of the adults like him. Just the kids and teenagers. Not fans.
All for kids and teenagers, man.
Slamson was rated the greatest NBA mascot of all time. And that's how we know that Wikipedia is bullshit.
Right. Since we haven't finished recording these episodes, so we don't know.
So I
the greatest of all time.
I had to put this in because it's just like, what the fuck is this? Because it's either the Sacramento Kings actually think this is, like, they actually have this as his origin story in his history, right? Or,
right.
What the fuck, someone actually thought to put this on Wikipedia.
Well, either way,
even
I'm
if
up
it's
to accept
fake, yeah, right?
As the truth, yeah. This is like an origin story for like a villain in a movie, or like,
dude, totally.
Poor family sold into slavery to come to America.
Like, why
where
did they
he lived homeless?
Yeah, he's living underneath the bleachers. Like, why?
Which are probably full of trash and all that stuff. Like, he has to live under the bleachers?
Yeah, that's what they say. Why?
He's the 12-time Cat of the Year. and he has to live underneath bleachers.
He delivers 12 million smiles per year.
And you can't give him, like, at least a studio apartment?
Right?
Like, come on. A couple thousand a month and he'd be set up nicely. Instead, he has to live. Probably doesn't even have his own home. He probably uses the bathrooms in the arena to bathe himself. I mean, that's terrible.
Terrible.
Pretty dark story.
Yeah. When you're looking at him, he's balding. He's going through some stress.
Yeah, definitely. That's a receding hairline, no question.
For sure. Which leads us into our design rankings.
Yes.
So, who is your number one design in the Pacific Division?
I went the gorilla. I love the look of it. It's a classic. I mean, we're biased, of course, but
not at all.
It's like the look of it. He looks cool. He looks athletic, and it's all about that. I think the gorilla's got a great look. Yeah,
and the fact that it's like a gorilla that rides a motorcycle in.
Yeah.
And like
he just does cool shit, you know?
Yeah.
Like he's a cool guy.
Absolutely. Who is your number two?
My number two is Slamson.
Okay, wow. All right.
I like the look of Slamson overall more than the Condor, I guess is my thing.
Okay.
Because I didn't give Golden State or LA any ranking.
I didn't either.
Like, no. So I like Slamson overall. I think he's cool. He's pretty athletic versus like the Condor. Not that I dislike the Condor, but I think just based on the actual look of it, I'm like, I'll give Slamson the edge. But to me, they're both clearly, the Gorilla's the clear number one.
Yeah, I mean...
I'm guessing from your reaction, you had the Condor too.
I had the Condor too, yeah. I do think like the Chuck Taylors on the feet is cool.
Well, that is a nice touch. That is a nice touch.
And like the wings, like it looks more kid-friendly to me than Slamson the Lion. And
okay, I guess I wasn't thinking kid-friendly.
Yeah. And I don't know. I think Slamson is another one like Jazz Bear, where I was like looking at his face, and I'm just like, has a weird face, dude. I just don't like his face.
Well, that's the face of someone who's felt pain.
That's very true. Which leads into our origin story rankings. Who did you have as number one?
I love Slamson's origin. I was so close on this. I gave the gorilla number one just because of how cool the actual... We know it's true.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I love that story of just a guy who's there, and it snowballed into this thing where he became this iconic mascot based off just being at a game in a gorilla suit.
Right?
Like, I feel like if I was a season ticket holder for, like, the Knicks or the Lakers or these other teams we've discussed that don't have an actual mascot, just start showing up in costume. And, like, maybe one will catch on. And next thing you know, you might be the mascot for an NBA team.
My number one was also the gorilla. My number two was Slamson. Did you give number two to Slamson? Yeah, I mean, that history is just fucking ridiculous.
That history would have been number one in almost every other
Exactly.
It might be the second best history of all divisions.
I agree.
Of all mascots.
And then I had to give Chuck the Condor number three because I didn't want to give Golden State or LA Lakers any.
No.
Skills?
Yeah, and it's like Chuck the Condor, not that long of a background story, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
Skills, yes. Who you got number one on your skills?
Skills, I got the gorilla, man. A pioneer, inventor of the trampoline dunk. I mean, come on. Come on. So, yeah, I gave him number one.
I'm with you, but remember, in the NBA, there aren't trampolines on the court. So,
well,
his skills up the trampoline.
The gorilla does other athletic. Like, I think just a pioneer in
like
being athletic.
You ride a motorcycle, but you can't do that during a game either. I had the gorilla, too.
Okay.
That's the gorilla number two.
The gorilla is like a legit gymnast too, because like there's times where the gorilla will do like front. What are they called? I was gonna say hamstrings. Handsprings. He'll do like front handsprings down the court. Like it's a legit gymnast guy. He's pretty athletic.
I'm with you, but I had to go with the Condor. Kind of like the way we gave the Bulls some credit for him being 375 pounds. I'm gonna give them credit when they say he has a 10-foot wingspan.
Fair enough. I use my number.
Like, hey, look, if he's got a legit 10-foot wingspan, come on. You try and post that guy up. Yeah. He closes out on your three-pointer.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be brutal. So I had to give it to him. Gorilla number two. Slamson number three.
I just had Gorilla one, Condor number two. So for me, the Gorilla swept this division. 15 points. How many points? Who was your number one?
He got 13 from me. So
all right. So clear winner from this division, totally unbiased. But
totally unbiased, guys. That's the important thing to remember.
It was the Gorilla. The Gorilla wins the Pacific Division and will be moving on to the Winners' Champion round. I don't like to toot my own horn, but
Cut that.